my boy Craig is in finally.
I knew it was coming, and it was still made me jump.
Yeah. All right.
Always.
Oh, we could start with jump scares and shit. Halloween Kills was absolute trash. Don't waste
Oh, I
your
haven't
money
seen
on
that
it.
movie yet, but I think we should have like sound effects and stuff.
Pow! Kapow! No,
These
yeah,
are so very
Halloween.
great, guys.
Shut up, Marissa.
Wait, she's still here.
Raw.
Yes.
You know, every day I think, Canadians are nice people. Then I remember King exists, and I'm like, Canadians are cunts.
I was going to say Make a Wish, but that's kind of morbid, so I apologize for thinking that.
Oh God.
Well, they don't have to die to.
I mean,
Maybe
realistically,
Wish.
they're gonna die. Realistically,
It
they're gonna
depends. It depends.
You tell them they're not going to, so that they don't think about it for one day.
die. I mean, it's a great organization, and I love what they do, but realistically, they're giving them something. There's actually a random topic. I'm sorry, Dev. Go continue.
No, it's fine. Go.
I was gonna say there was actually a comic of Spider-Man where it's basically Make a Wish, where this kid has like terminal illness, and he's like playing superheroes with Spider-Man, defeating the bad guys, and then he just passes away. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know how I'd feel if I was like in a hospital and basically they turned up. Oh, so your Make-A-Wish came true. I'd just look at them like, hello, what? Huh? What? I'm sorry.
To be fair, if you're a kid, I'm not sure you fully comprehend the idea.
I mean, I don't, but still, like, I feel like it's just a way for them to go, definitely die.
I think it's the parents who will like take that in a more serious manner, like you're describing it.
Shout out John Cena too, because apparently he has the most Make-A-Wish wishes done. Shout out to him.
Well done, John Cena. Too bad you show for the Chinese government.
For fuck's sake.
He's not LeBron.
He's not as bad as LeBron, but he still sucks like that.
Yeah, I mean, money talks.
Yeah, no, I agree, but still, have some integrity. Anyways, shall we get started?
I thought we already started.
Shut up, Dad. So, King, how was your week?
Very, very busy at work. Very, very busy.
No. Okay.
Yeah.
No.
But yesterday was pretty chill. We're going to talk a little bit about yesterday, but aside from the stuff I've already told you, I got a new mouse, and it's very nice.
What mouse?
You know you're fucking old when you're excited about a fucking mouse.
Well, it's a gaming mouse. It's pretty nice. And here's the other things: like I can expense it, so I'm not actually paying for it. My company's gonna pay for it.
Yeah, Amazon.
Well, reimburse me rather,
Amazon.
but
Amazon
reimbursement. And no, it's pretty. It's a nice gaming mouse. It's got really good setup in terms of
Which one? What's it called?
HyperX point click something. I don't know. I actually put the box somewhere else. But, I mean, it's pretty solid.
Hopefully, it lasts longer than 3 months.
I mean, it's a pretty expensive mouse, so it better.
The headphones, and that didn't last more than a month for me, and I had 2.
I bought my headphones like off of like some random seller on Amazon, and I've had them for over a year, and I think they're pretty decent quality.
HyperX's?
No, my headphones. Like, I don't know about HyperX.
That's what I'm saying. HyperX
I think
stuff is not made to last.
Yeah, interesting. Well, we'll see. Like worst case scenario, I buy a new mouse and expense that next.
He's like, well, fuck you, Dad.
You get it free anyway, so it don't matter because Amazon's like, hey, King.
I gotta submit the receipt and all that. But yes, basically. But that's pretty much what I've been up to.
Nice. Marissa?
Hmm?
Exactly. Good talk. Dad? No, just kidding. No, Dad.
Marissa said, that was a turn. She's gone now. That's the turn done. Sorry, Marissa. That was your turn. She can go last now. Marissa can go last now after that.
That's okay. That's fair.
Yeah.
All in favor, aye. No, you're right. Aye.
Canadian obviously says aye because he's a cunt. So
I would never say aye because I don't repeat what that shitty blue cat says.
What blue cat?
His favorite.
Are you fucking kidding me right now?
Sadness.
Oh shit! My bad. I think you guys were talking Garfield. I was like, Garfield don't say I, and then I was like, oh wait, we're
Garfield. No, Garfield is not that shitty.
Garfield.
I mean, he's kind of an asshole, but still.
Yeah, he was like, wait, we're weebs. We're talking about manga. Okay.
So Marissa, how was your week?
Oh, you son of a bitch! I thought it was you. Look at the fucking mind.
This is a chance. No. Okay.
Somebody go. Anybody.
All right, Marissa, fine. We try to give you a second chance. Just fuck you. Week was good.
What?
Pretty busy. Didn't do anything out of the ordinary. Just work. We did get some unfortunate news with Christopher Ayres passing away, the voice of Frieza, the dub voice. So that was pretty sad. But other than that, the week was nothing abnormal for me.
Yeah, R.I.P. Chris. For those who don't know, he also did Duke Everloo in early Fairy Tail. That was his only Fairy Tail role, but yeah, Frieza was by far and away his most popular role, and I think he did a lot to really make Frieza a more interesting character to watch.
Spidey, you?
I got a raise, so that's nice.
Nice.
I got well, work's been fun. And I say fun in the most sarcastic way ever. But they also put me in charge of this stuff. I don't want to really disclose what I do, but it's like it's not my responsibility, but all of a sudden I was made in charge of it, so now I gotta fucking oversee that bullshit. And it's like very time sensitive content, so it's like, you son of a bitch. But I got a raise, so that's cool.
Well, at least you didn't get extra work of no raise.
Well, I got the raise. You son of a bitch, that's probably why I got the raise.
Why did you think you got the raise? Just because they were like, oh, hey, Spidey, here's some more money.
Oh, no, because it wasn't. I'll tell you guys more about it off podcast.
Fucking Power just joined like 10 minutes later.
Power could go hang itself. Sorry, that
agreed.
was.
Nah, agreed.
I also finally, I started playing Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. Butcher's name.
Beautiful.
Because I had bought it, and then I'm playing it on the PS4 right now. Well, on my PS5, but for the PS4, and I made my motherfucking droid look like Wally, and I was like, that's what's up. That's what's up. And my character has a poncho, so I was like, my Mexican roots are showing. That's what's up. That's what's up. And that's about it. I saw Halloween Kills too, and that shit was absolute trash. Whoever likes it, you were dropped at birth. I'm just kidding. Opinions are subjective.
Everybody I talked to about it said it was trash.
A lot of the boomers liked it.
Have any of you seen Dune?
Yes, I want to see it.
Because I've heard two things about it. Like, there's no in between. I've heard it's one of the worst films, and I've heard it's a great film.
It's not Venom 2, so it's
I've heard no in between. There's not a single person who's gone, yeah, it was alright. Yeah, I don't mind it. It's like
that's actually me, so I guess I'm going to be the variable here.
Like, it literally is, I fucking hate it, or yo, I fucking love this.
I think it's like that one game, Death Stranding, where it's like, if you like the genre, you'll like the show or the movie. If you don't like the genre, then you might not like it. But they were literally hyping this up as the next great epic, as the next Star Wars and all that shit.
I don't think it was that crazy.
What, Dune?
Oh, no, sorry. I thought you were talking about fucking Venom, too.
No, motherfucker. Why would I waste my time? No, you're fired.
I own the server. Kiss my
Oh, shit. Spidey's fired. The fire back.
Yeah, go on, man.
No, yeah. They were hyping Dune up as this next great epic. At least that's what I was reading online, and in the posters and the trailers, like the next Star Wars and the next whatever the fuck. And I was like, all right, guys, you guys are hyping this bullshit up, and it's gonna probably fucking super fail these expectations. So good job, you played yourself. But yeah. So Marissa, did you finally think of what you did this week?
It was homecoming week for my school, so I didn't do anything.
You were breakdancing, weren't you? Didn't you say you were breakdancing?
No.
Can someone explain to me this hype behind her? Because we don't have that here.
I don't see any hype around it. All the girls are like, yeah, it is a dance. Everybody's so hyped about it, and then I was just there. doing nothing.
Can you say that again? I didn't catch that.
Homecoming.
Yeah,
do
what
you
is
have it at
homecoming?
your?
Oh, homecoming.
Do you have it at your middle school like Marissa?
Oh, I will say this. I didn't actually go to high school in Canada, so like it's not a thing where I went, but the ultimate idea is that it's an important time for students because high school is just treated very differently in North America. So it makes sense that they put a lot of attention on towards it.
Where did you go to school?
Went to high school in India.
Huh.
Oh,
I thought you moved
Yeah,
to
I know,
Canada a
like-
lot earlier.
What?
I thought you moved to Canada like early on in your life.
I moved to Canada 4 years ago.
Huh.
Damn.
But like
No wonder he's not like every other Canadian yet.
I
Ah.
was
it takes 10 years to.
Yeah, it takes 10 years to adopt the custom.
well no I was born in Canada though. Like you don't grow up in India and speak English as exceptionally as I do.
Oh, this guy. This
No,
guy.
he isn't wrong. He isn't wrong.
No, I know he's not. But I'm just saying,
Especially
this guy's-
without an accent.
Yeah, zero accent. Dude,
So
you
wait,
have
how long
no
did you
idea
live
the
in
number
Canada
of people I've
before you
talked to
went
online who legit think I'm some like suburban white Toronto kid. Like it's
To be
whack.
fair, you do sound like one.
I thought
I
you
don't
were
mind
one.
sounding like that. It is way better than sounding like some fucking Bollywood Elvis
It's
guy.
not wrong, actually. So wait, how long were you in Canada before you went to India?
15 years,
And then how long were you in India for?
10 years.
Huh. How come you guys went in? Is it just family, work, or...
Family thing. I didn't have a choice in the matter.
Wow. You learn something new every day.
Yeah.
So Marissa,
So
anything else?
basically, just to clarify, homecoming is it happens during the football week, like the rivalry week or whatever of the
So it's like
school.
college football match, basically.
I have no idea who we faced.
No, high school
High school
football.
High school
So it's
football
even more.
match.
So it's even more stupid.
Well, college football things have their own associated thing. They do have like a homecoming, but it's not like a formal dance. It's more like a party event type of thing, and everyone just kind of goes everywhere. And it's not
COVID
like
season.
formal in any way. Sorry?
And I'm saying it's COVID season. for
Do they call it
homecoming.
homecoming because it's like the
No,
the
dude, I was
trophies
at a
coming
fucking
home.
homecoming event a couple of weeks ago, like earlier this month, and man, it was fucking whack. There were like thousands of people in the street. It's in my city. It's a party street, and dude, all these guys fucking jumped up on a car, fucking trashed the car, flipped the fucking car over, and of course they got recorded doing it. So when the police went out and like fucking arrested them, and once my friends and I saw them do this, we zipped right the fuck out because we knew the police were gonna shut that shit down, which they did. The police came in riding on fucking horses. Waving batons,
Massive
gesturing everybody
horses,
like, get
what?
the fuck out of here. What?
Why horses? Is this 1890, bruv?
No, but like here's the thing. Like here's the thing.
Are they
Horses can
Amish, fam?
horses can maneuver in a crowd much easier than you can
This
with
is
a
true.
car.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
like,
what?
okay, the only time I've ever seen police on horses here, right, is when you go into central London, where you go to Buckingham Palace, and you just see them, the guards at the front of the palace on a horse, and
For,
that's
like, historical
purely for like a show. That's it.
Mhm.
Because
Yeah.
every other police officer in the area has a bike. So
Mhm.
there's just like three with a horse, and then they shit everywhere.
Yeah. Well, there were cars in the vicinity, but like the cops who were actually breaking up the party were on horses, and I think it was just for the sake of maneuverability.
That's fair.
It's like people are gonna get the fuck out of the way for like a horse just because they don't want to be near that. Plus, but like it's a little bit easier to
gonna
barricade a
have a
car because
horse?
presumably you can assume that the car is not going to run you over for the most part.
I mean, in America, that's a 50-50, bro.
I would even say the
Sure, but
50-50.
I'm
That's
not in
like
America.
an 80-20, bro.
I'm trying to be nice, Tav. I'm trying to be nice to the Americans.
I guess if you add some
I-
color in, then it gets even higher. Like
E-
police there are a
either
mess.
way, but yeah, like whether it's a college or high school, homecoming tends to be a pretty interesting time for better or for worse. But it's not the same in a lot of other countries because, Dev, you might know this, but obviously, like a lot of Indian high schools, like adopted some similar structure to the British schools, but not all of them. But because
Yeah.
like British schools don't really do the whole homecoming dance, and I don't know if you guys do prom thing, but like they don't do that over there. They have their
We-
own equivalent, but it's not as formal. And obviously, the whole guy asking a girl thing out is not happening because the society is just way too fucking conservative. Which is another reason why I left because I never fucking dated while I was over there.
We do have a prom, but it's literally only at the end of high. So you would have it. Year 6 is when you finish primary school. You'll have one there, but it's the shittest one. It's like
You're only like
boys
12
on
years
one
old
side.
at that time, right?
Yeah, boys on one side, girls on the other side, and then there's parents there chaperoning, so they bring like
Oh,
food,
that's lame.
and it's just like, woo. And then there's like 3 kids who can actually dance, and they dance, and then everyone else is like, yeah. But shit. Then the one at the end of high school, that one is the one that's like, all right, if you're a couple, it's gonna be great. If you're not and you have no friends, you're probably not gonna go. And if you have a lot of friends, it depends if your friends are gonna go. Because what my friends and I did is we're like, cool, we'll go. Then we got there and then we ended up leaving and went somewhere else after like 10 minutes. And then I went back later because I had my girlfriend there. And then the one that we have at the end of college, we, instead of having a prom, we just turned it into a boat party. And we just went and had a boat party.
Those are pretty awesome too.
Yeah, and so you get too drunk and realize you can't swim, and then you're like, oh, let's hope I don't fall off.
Mm-hmm.
But then you keep drinking in hopes that you forget about that.
In hopes that you just forget about college in general. That would be nice.
The boat party was always fun, and everyone was like, "We're having a problem this year," and then like the student body people would be like, "We haven't had a prom in our school for like 10 years. It's always just been a boat party."
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of people get pretty upset that there's no prom at the end, which like prom shit.
Yeah, I think that's also just because like a lot of people wherever you are in the world are watching like American sitcoms and movies and dramas and stuff, and it's like because prom's always such a big thing in those, like people want that, but not every country has it.
Also, we don't have a prom queen, prom king kind of thing. Like we get an award ceremony, but like it's not like the winner is it's at the end of it, like 3 days later we get like a book and in there it says the winner of this is this and this. We had the shortest person in the year won this award.
The chillest person in the year?
Shortest.
What?
Just a book?
Yeah, we get like a book, right? And in that book is basically it's like the yearbook, right? But at the back of the yearbook it has all the prizes people won. You would vote for people beforehand, and then it would get announced in the yearbook. And it's like, person most likely to do well. Person who most likely to go furthest in sports. Which I want, actually. I want that.
Interesting.
And here you are.
And here I am. And then we had, like, there was one award. It was the tallest person in the year, shortest person. And then we had most improved in the year. Now, I don't know if you guys have this award there, right? So
I actually won that award. No, but it wasn't for, like, school. It was for, like, personality. It was like personality development award or something. It's basically an award that tells you, yeah, we really hated you at the beginning of the year, but you know you're okay with we're okay with you now.
No, that's
very
not
nice.
The award means you're shit, but now you're just less shit, but you're still shit.
Exactly, but I think that kind of cynicism is to be expected in some cases,
dude.
And like I feel like also like we're talking about like it should be priced. There's nothing. It's not an achievement, you know, to be like super tall, and it's certainly not an achievement to be super short.
I think it is, because
how?
If you're taller than everyone else, then you got bragging rights, fam.
You got bragging rights, absolutely, but like it's not an achievement.
No, but you got to remember when you're in high school, right? All of a sudden, it's about height, especially if you're going to be dating someone. They're like,
I agree. It 100% is height is absolutely key. Like you're very rarely going to see a couple where the girl is taller than the dude. My point is, it's not an achievement.
It is an achievement, but I think it depends.
It's not an achievement because you didn't have to fucking work for it.
Whoa! That's a lot of sleep and a lot of veg that was eaten by that guy. Okay.
I mean, yeah, but again, it's a crapshoot. Like I'm legit a head taller than both of my parents, and I didn't legitimately have to like work for it. Like I just beat the genetics. And environment up.
Beating the genetics is an achievement, you dumb shit.
You don't work for it though. It's not.
Whoa! Do you know how hard it was? You might not remember this, but do you know how hard it was to outswim all the other sperm, bruv? That was a difficult race. That's the last time I swam.
I don't remember that, Dad. Maybe you could enlighten us.
Oh, dude, it was a crazy race. I remember I had Jimmy to my right. I had Timothy to the left. Fam, that race was mad. That's why I don't swim.
I like how you named them.
Yeah, it was Jimothy.
Yeah, all the brothers that never got made.
Oh, there was a Diane as well. She was very lost. I'm pretty sure she was fat. But yeah, she didn't make it. She didn't even get halfway, mate. She just dissolved, disappeared.
Anyway, I'm saying that, you know, it's not a specific measurable goal, to work towards
Yeah,
your
but
height.
I
So
feel
just
like
don't
most
think I don't
improved
think
is
it
an
should
even
be in
worse
the-
one. Because it's literally just saying you were
No.
shit, now you're less shit.
Well,
No,
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 you
actually,
can certainly argue that it's more
participation award.
insulting, but I do think that working on your personality and trying to understand better what the other people in your
No,
community are
I
like, and
completely
trying
agree.
to
That's a
achieve
good
that
thing.
is
I agree, but you shouldn't get like an award for it because it's literally just pointing out, yo, you were a cunt. Now you're not a cunt.
whether you should get an award for it or not. I think that is up in the air and subject to debate, but I do think it's more of an achievement.
Yeah, but see now when I have my kids and yo, this is my yearbook. Here's the award. Oh yeah, the tallest person in my year was Kieran, and then the shortest person was Natasha. And then I rather that than oh yeah, I got this award for most improved personality because then my kids are gonna be like, no wonder you're a dickhead. Okay, no wonder I'm a dickhead too. Yeah, you take after me. But like we also had most participated award, and that was for the person who did the most like extracurriculars. It was basically the guy who had no life.
Sounds like it.
Like, oh, and we had a most
Surprised you didn't win that
persevered
award.
as well. Basically, the person who just kept failing but kept trying. That one was that was rude.
You see, that's one that I wouldn't want because that's just straight up embarrassing.
That went to a dyslexic kid as well. All of us were like, "Oh shit!"
Uh,
We were laughing so hard, but then like a few weeks later, we're like, "Oh, that's deep." We realized who I went to.
It's just the implication, though.
Oh yeah, it was so funny though. It was
Speaking
one
of
of my
implication, we should probably get to the actual content of the podcast before everyone thinks this is a high school reminiscing show.
Oh, dude, my high school was fucking lit.
That's literally what you bitches did for the last 15 minutes.
Yeah, but
all right.
people are gonna
I
listen to
think we
this, and then they're
can-
gonna like skim through the next chapters, and then they're gonna be like, "Ah, when's the next podcast?"
It's
Oh,
okay.
you-
Spidey's time stamping it anyway.
Yeah, I gotta deal with this bullshit. All you guys need to remember for high school is mind over matter. You don't mind it, it don't matter.
That's life.
Or
bro.
height,
That's literally me.
height is mind and matter. If you don't mind it, it don't matter. There we go. Anyway, what was the next topic we were gonna talk about before we go back to the fucking?
You guys can discuss EDENSZERO if you'd like.
Gee, the chapter wasn't too bad, so we can. It
Okay,
wasn't the worst chapter.
I should probably pull it up.
Yeah, it might help. So this chapter was 164. Had a
Uh-huh.
really nice color page.
It's his
witch.
witch. She's
Uh,
dead.
She's not dead. Fucking
She's
hell.
dead.
Chapter 164, Downpour of the Black Heavens. I found it. Okay, I'm still a little pissed that Shiki was able to move after having his eye gouged out or
Adrenaline.
exploded, and then
Got
him
stabbed
being
with a lance too.
pissed. Yeah, but he could still move. Like I'd expect this kind of stuff from like Dragon Ball, but like I don't know. I feel like that's kind of annoyed me a bit. And then okay, Ziggy's head, him still would have been alive even though he's decapitated. I can get with because he's an android. The head isn't like I can understand that, but I still feel like he should still be in a worse state than he is. I'm still pretty pissed that Shiki was able to. Did he beat Shura?
Yes, he did.
Yeah.
Was it like a full? Yeah. See, I don't think I feel like you shouldn't have won. I honestly feel like you shouldn't have won. There's no way with all the damage Shiki had taken, he'll be able to pull out a fucking spirit bomb, powerful
He's had a
enough.
spirit bomb. Spirit bomb is two hands. This is Cruel Sun. This is
Okay.
Escanor's one shot.
No, this is the fucking spirit bomb from the Saiyan Saga, which is like a little ball, bro. Yeah, the one that Krillin could throw.
That shit was not a little ball. That shit was huge. What do you mean?
But the one that Krillin threw.
No,
He's
I'm talking about the
when they
one.
first battled Vegeta.
No, I'm talking about the one Shiki did.
Yeah, but I'm saying like this
That
wasn't.
that shit look more like Escanor's Cruel Sun than it does.
Okay,
the
we'll go with that then. So like, he's been pierced. All right, he's lost his eye. So the amount of blood this man is losing is a madness. And he's like, let me just channel my inner seven deadly sins. Escanor, man was like cool son out here. And then all of a sudden he wins. Like, I feel like Shura hadn't taken as much damage. The entire fight, he had taken damage, obviously. He got punched up a bit, but he hadn't taken enough damage for him to like get one shot by that. I feel like he should have easily well, not easily tanked it, but he should have been able to get. But like, that kind of hurt. So I'm gonna end this now. But he didn't. He got clapped out.
Here's the thing. We literally see a panel as he's building his little cruel son. Shiki, you need to strengthen the weight of your heart. It is the feelings you have for your friends. It is the courage to move forward. It is the resolve to fight. Yada yada yada. Power of friendship shit.
Yeah.
Right. And that's when he powers up his ball even more. So he amplified its power because of the power of friendship.
It's bullshit.
I mean, it's giving you an in-universe explanation. So
yeah, but it's still nonsense.
I mean, half the series is nonsense.
Yeah, but this is the worst case of power of friendship that I've seen in a while.
I don't know. I feel like it's more adrenaline, and then him remembering his teachings.
Yeah, but it's Shuro bodied the entire of EDENSZERO. He bodied everyone without breaking a sweat, but without even going into overdrive. He bodied Shiki before.
Well, we don't know if he bodied them without going into overdrive because we didn't see their entire fight. We just saw.
Okay, but he still bodied them regardless.
Oh, that's fine, but we can't assume that these.
Okay, even if he went into overdrive, he still bodied them. It was a whole team versus him. He still bodied them, and he was left without a scratch. He blocked Shiki's overdrive punch without going into overdrive. He blocked it in a normal form. So, like, this black guy Shuro shouldn't have lost that easily.
It's also arrogance and adrenaline, though.
I agree with that, but I still don't think he should have lost that easily. This
That's
entire arc has gone from, like, it was exciting, and the meat budget, he's like, oh yeah, cool, and a big fight starts, oh, it's just cool, and then the fights gradually just get air. Then we have a couple good ones, and then it gets air, and now we got the climax. And I don't even call that a climax. I'm glad this arc should look basically finished.
I mean, we also saw that what was driving Shiki because he was remembering all the deaths that were happening.
Yeah, but I would accept it if he managed to clap out Shuro a bit more. But he didn't. Yeah, he threw a few good punches here and there, but the amount of damage Shuro did to him. I mean, he pierced him twice. Right? Fucking popped a man's eyeball. So like, Shiki's taken a ridiculous amount of damage. Like this is Vegeta versus Kid Buu levels of damage, bro. Like,
yes,
it's nuts. There's no way Shiki should have been able to have drawn that much power. I can accept getting more powerful from it, but to win from that, nah. That there right now is straight up nonsense.
But it's kind of like Pokemon, you know, when you have your starter, what is it, the Blaze, right? Their ability. But
that doesn't always guarantee that they're gonna win. A lot of the time,
I'm not saying it guarantees it, but it does power up their attacks, and we know that Shiki. I don't even fucking care for this chapter. I don't know why I'm fucking defending it so much.
I don't know either because it's not good. And then Pokemon, they don't get pierced twice and lose an eyeball.
In the last chapter, Shiki throw a sucker punch that took Shuro by surprise, right? At the end.
Yeah, because he came out of nowhere.
No,
that attack didn't do anything more than a normal punch would do. Like there was no, his body didn't get pierced, or like it was a regular. I mean, this is also that his eye got popped and then he got pierced through.
You say it didn't do much, but it literally took him out of of his overdrive. He had to get back into his overdrive. We see that in page 3, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, page 3. We see that in page 3. The punch took him out of overdrive. And then he had to go back into it, and that's when he landed another.
Yeah, but I still don't think, like, to me, this is the worst culprit of power of friendship that we've had. Like this,
I would have agreed if Shuro stayed in overdrive the whole time, but we saw that he didn't, which means that the overdrive was draining Shuro to some extent. To what extent, I don't know.
But yeah, it was draining him.
And then we see Shiki repeatedly attack him afterward. And it's not like it's not hurting him because the motherfucker's spitting out blood.
Yeah, but then Shiki got pierced a second time.
Yeah, but at this point, you're going on adrenaline.
Yeah, but if Shiki was barely able to scratch him before, right? Not much time has passed between their first fight and this fight. There's been no middle ground where Shiki's like, I've got to get stronger.
Well, it's not like he was getting completely destroyed. Shiki was also landing hits.
Shiki was not doing much to him at all.
I'm not saying he was doing much. I'm saying he was still landing hits.
But landing a hit doesn't mean that it's doing anything.
But what you're saying is Shiki was basically standing no chance, which isn't true because he was keeping up with him until he got his eye popped.
No, not in this fight. I'm talking about the first fight that they went against each other, right? Back when that planet where the robots, Shiki was getting bodied. Every time they fought, Shiki has been getting bodied.
Oh, you're talking about the original fight. Okay, yeah,
because between that fight and this fight, there has been no time for Shiki to go away and do like a quick training in a hyperbolic time chamber.
Yeah, but Shiki wasn't in overdrive in those fights.
Neither was he.
And Shiki was more worried about saving the robots than he was fighting Shura.
Yeah, but regardless,
if you're distracted trying to do something while someone's attacking you, you're not gonna be giving the fight your all.
But when they were fighting that first time, there weren't robots around until after.
I need to reread that chapter because I don't remember that much of it. Anyway,
I feel like this was just a ridiculous amount of power friendship to me. I can understand, I can get with the whole like Shura was drained and that Shiki was able to knock him out of his overdrive and force him back in. I'm sure going in and out of overdrive probably takes a taxing on you. But for Shiki to have his eye popped, be pierced twice, get bodied, and then still be able to.
He wasn't bodied. I don't know what your definition of bodied is, but this chapter he was not bodied.
Not this chapter.
Last chapter he was not bodied either. He was hurt, but bodied for me means like he's completely left for dead. Not the game, but like actually like left to die, like Witch was. I didn't see him getting left to die like that. Speaking of random transition, we see Sister Ivory and Hermit coming in clutch trying to save Witch. So there's that.
I think that's what the next chapter is going to focus on.
Thank God, because I don't give a fuck about this shit. So I feel like we've talked a lot, Marissa. Anything you want to add?
Not really.
Good talk.
Ziggy,
I'm tired, bro.
Ziggy hitting the bomb. That was quite interesting.
Oh yeah, that was interesting.
How did he?
He teleported.
How did he get nearest power of the portal?
He crushed the dice.
No, but that doesn't. Okay, he crushed the dice, and after he crushed the dice, Nero was like, "All right, cool. I'm gonna use my portal power on you." All right. Then he used gravity to steal the power. Man said he's all for one. Man pulled an all for one and was like, "This is power, man power."
To be fair, there's a lot we don't know about. What's his stupid name? Ziggy.
Yeah, I know, but like, man just went all for one on his ass and just stole his power. Man was like, "Here's gravity drain. Now I have your power," and now he can use teleporting.
Well, he used gravity drain, so I'm guessing that's an ability of his.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He went all for one on him. He literally drained the guy's tower out.
I'm kind of intrigued to see if Shiki will develop that.
Oh God, please no! I don't want to.
I don't think so.
All for one route.
It's definitely way above his power thing. I don't know.
Nah, by Mashima's power scale, and Shiki will learn that at some point. He'll use it once and then forget it.
There's no power scale in Mashima series. People need to realize that.
I mean, there isn't, not to the degree of other shows, but there's still the characters get stronger as the time goes on, especially the main character.
Yeah, but it's not really power scale because it's like
Natsu
was losing to Max.
Yeah, but that was a dumbass. So that was not.
And then he clapped the shit out of Sting. So that by that implication, it means that Max would clap Sting.
Max would body Sting, bruv.
Oh my God.
Hands down, hands behind his back, Max would body Sting. Sting would get headbutted and he's done. Max power.
It's kind of fucking weird that you hated the way that they basically played out the fight. But me, I'm just reading it now, and it kind of makes sense to me. Kind of enjoyed it.
I just
think
don't like the fact that Shura was defeated so easily in one attack. I would have been more satisfied if there was like more than
What do
just
you,
that one attack.
man? What do you mean one attack? You sound like those fairy tale haters.
No, okay, he
not
landed a few good
saying-
punches, right? But
Okay, that
the amount that Shura did to Shiki should have done more than the guy was pierced twice. The dude lost his eye. I cannot understand where he's got this power to be able to
How
create
do we know?
a
How do we
Q-Sun
know he
powerful
didn't get?
enough.
How do we know he didn't get pierced in the same spot?
I didn't. What do you mean? Doesn't matter. You
Like,
pierced twice,
Yeah, but
regardless.
if you're pierced in the same spot, it's not gonna hurt as much.
It's still
you
gonna
already-
make the hole bigger, regardless. He was pierced twice.
I mean, not really looking
That's,
at the.
but that's arguing semantics. Because at the end of the day, something still went through him twice. It's semantics if you're like, it went through the hole that
We
was already
actually-
there. Doesn't matter
we
because
actually
it's still
know
you
if
saw
that was
more blood. You still saw more
actually-
blood come out again.
Hold on, do we actually know if it was a pierced? Because the one you're talking about is with heavy collision, right? That page.
The first chapter, the first.
No. I'm talking about in this chapter. The pierce you're talking about is when Shura is doing the heavy collision, right?
Yeah.
See, because to me that doesn't look like a pierce. That looks like more he got hit by the rock, like it shows in the heavy collision, and then the blood from his already pierced body just fucking came out.
Okay, but even if it is that, it's still a ridiculous amount of damage he's taken.
Oh, I don't disagree with you there, but I'm just saying in Mashima series, I mean in real life too, not to that extent, but in real life too, adrenaline is a hell of a thing.
I know. I'm one who has experienced adrenaline many times with my old job, but it's still you can't. I don't know. I can't. This is the biggest copy of Power of Friendship I've seen in the series. Like this was huge. I can't. I don't like how the fact that Shura went from basically clapping everyone out to this. As much as I hate Shura and I'm glad he's got fucked up, still I feel like the fight. This is such an anticlimactic fight. This fight was the whole last like 10 chapters have just been going downhill, and this one just nosedived. This final fight was just shit.
Yeah, see, because I have a feeling that Overdrive works a lot like Fairy Tale's One Magic, where the purity, if you will, of yourself amplifies your abilities. Right. Shura is all about himself, all about him being the strongest, him being the best, him killing his father. Well, Shiki's all about that, as Dom Toretto would say, family.
But we've had no indication of that.
But we haven't had any. Yes, we have it, but we haven't had it either way. We haven't had it if it is or if it isn't. Because when he fought Draken Joe, I could make the same argument. Like, there's no way he should have won that, and he did, because he somehow was able to fuse his powers with Rebecca's, and then he amplified his abilities when he was fighting Draken Joe, and he clapped him.
I guess, but this was more power friendship than the others. This was so anticlimactic.
Draken Joe is considered stronger than Shura because he's actually one of the Oración Seis. And he got clapped real easy by Shiki the moment Shiki fucking used.
Yeah, but Draken Joe's thing was fucking destroyed as well, wasn't it?
It was destroyed. It was destroyed after, but he still had his entire other form.
Yeah, but there was still other factors. But whether or not that one was good or not, this fight to me was still so anticlimactic. I would never be able to accept that the win was this easy.
That's fair. I disagree, but that's fair. That's what discussion is.
That this whole thing to me was just my friends, it's knowing the weight of a life. I can't believe you don't respect life.
But I didn't see you this. I don't want to say annoyed, but I didn't see you this we'll say up in arms, for lack of a better word, up in arms about the Dragon Joe fight when it was literally the exact same
Yeah, but
thing.
to be fair with the Drac and Joe fight, right?
Oh,
We weren't doing a podcast back then,
that's fair, but
and and
even
also
in the
I had read,
the-
I was binge reading at that point, so I didn't even like. I was still processing fucking chapter 82, bruv.
no, we were the pod, we were doing the you were in the podcast.
No, we weren't.
We've
we
done the
weren't.
podcast for over a year.
No, but we weren't doing it from when I caught up to EDENSZERO. We weren't doing a podcast yet. When Drac and Joe lost, we hadn't started the podcast yet. I can guarantee you we hadn't started it yet.
I'm about to find out.
You'd have to go check podcast 1, which wasn't on YouTube. That wasn't that was a drive, I think.
I think you're right, but I need to still. Hey there, everyone. It is April 18th, 2020. April 18th is EDENSZERO. Anyway, Marissa, talk about the chapter really quick, since you haven't said shit. Well, yeah. What did you think about the chapter? What did you think about Ziggy? What did you think about the fight?
Well, seeing that Ziggy used gravity drain, I wonder how many other ether gears he's taken. Because, like, how do we know how much is actually his? Y'all being silent.
I feel like we probably would have seen more if he had taken others. I wonder if I have a feeling it's something you just learned, and Discord search is broken.
Hmm?
Discord search is broken. I can't search for series updates.
Hmm. I wonder if they're just gonna leave Shura to die. I highly doubt it, but I hope they do.
Nah, I doubt they will. They're too nice.
Oh yeah, and the princess is gone.
Oh yeah, forgot about her. She disappeared. She fell out of the fucking bottle.
I bet she's gonna go for Shura. She's gonna be the one to save him.
Oh god, I fucking no, because she came through her senses.
Did she?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure she came to her senses.
Then why did he turn her into water?
Keep her safe because she was like. Let me see. What was in that chapter? Holy shit, this was a while ago. Oh yeah, Creed died. Rip my mans. They defeated her. Okay, we didn't see her come to her senses, but the red string snapped, which indicates that she came to her senses. No, she did. Her Laguna, her where? Yeah, no, she did. And then I think you turned her into water so that because she was tired. No.
How did she get out?
The bottle leaked, innit?
All right, I'm back. Dev. Podcast 3, where we talked about chapter 89, which was Herman versus Fee. So we did talk about Drac and Joe versus Shiki in the podcast.
I don't even remember talking about it then.
That's fair. Yeah, I'm not gonna look through the podcast because I don't want to waste time during the actual podcast we're recording. But Sorcerer Weekly number 3, we did talk about. I should probably timestamp those. I'm not gonna. It's too long. I'm not gonna bother.
Also, you have to also take into account the fact that we've been with the series for a little while now, and we've just been through an arc, which is basically Robot Lives Matter for like 25.
I told
chapters,
you this.
and just got, and then the arc just dragged, and then there was so much useless extra characters added with mini fights that just didn't matter. Random
Yeah.
crap. So,
I agree. I agree with you there.
so I was just hoping at the end of the arc would be a lot more climactic than it was.
That's fair. I guess
the
for
Ziggy
me,
fight. The Ziggy fight was great. I'll give it that. The Ziggy Nero fight was great. And
but
so
that
was
wasn't a
Jaguar.
fight. That wasn't really a fight. That was Ziggy just clapping cheeks.
No, but I'm talking about with Jaguar and everything. Like that whole like from before Ziggy appeared, that whole like series of fighting until the end. It gradually got worse, but it was better than the Shura versus Shiki fight.
I would argue that the Shura versus Shiki fight was on par with Draken Joe versus Shiki. You could revisit that if you'd like those chapters. I'll give you the link to them, but it's basically the same thing. All right. I guess we could wrap it up here because there's not much more to add, right? I mean, we do get a color page next week too.
Double one, isn't it?
I think.
Yeah.
Sure, we only had
That's right.
one chapter.
Yeah.
All right.
Check the podcast, bro. Check the podcast.
I have to scroll up.
Wait, no, we have
That's it. 164.
we have 2. We have 162, 63, and 64.
No, we talked
We
about
did
that last.
162, but I don't think we did 163.
Fam.
How did? Wait the fuck up.
Sorcerer Weekly YouTube.
Well, no,
I
he
am
put the thing in the chat.
Oh yeah, you're right. When Dad was insulting cat girls. Yeah, you're right. That was 160.
Skip the chapter.
So 163 was basically just the continuation of the fight.
Cool.
Doesn't matter.
To be fair, we actually spoke about it anyway because we talked about Shiki reappearing.
Mm.
Yeah.
Rebecca did some shooting, but she only had like 1 page.
As she always does. Okay. Fuck it. Well, what do you give both chapters? I know Dad would give it like a 2.
163, right? I'll give that. Okay, 162, I'd give that like a 7.5. Then 163, stick it to 7.5. Okay, cool. Like, I still don't think she should have been able to get that easily, but I can understand because there's a lot at stake. At a 164, that goes to a 5.
Oh, actually, Dad, I think I was right about the stab. Because where the blood is coming out in the meteor collision or whatever, it's the exact same spot where he was stabbed.
Yeah, I can accept that. Even if it wasn't a second piercing, it's still a lot of that hole would have been made bigger by that collision. Either way, that's still heavy damage to take, and to still be able to produce an attack that strong.
We forgot to take into account that Shura was actually using his gravity to kill people, so that could have drained his power. Because he's literally just splattering them left and right.
Well, he said something like, "Oh, look how easily I splattered or squashed them."
I don't think it would have taken much of his power to
I would agree if it was
a regular human being.
But it wasn't just A. It wasn't just A. There's at least 3, 6.
Yeah, there was a group of them, but they were regular beings. They weren't powered beings. They weren't these super powered. And he wasn't in overdrive when he did it. If it was going to be taxed, then he would have been in overdrive.
Well, I mean, but we don't know if the magic. We don't know how the magic works or the ether.
We don't, but I feel like that's reaching. I feel that's just reaching for another reason as to why he was able to be one shot by Shika. And I don't think that.
If we go by Mashima's previous series, they do lose their ability. They lose their like strength in their attacks if they don't replenish. Right, with fucking Natsu, his attacks wouldn't be as strong if he didn't consume the fire.
Yeah, but there's
After
no,
a long.
we haven't had any indication of that in the series.
No, I'm not. We haven't, but we can't just say, "Oh, just because we haven't had it." That
No, but if
doesn't-
that was a major thing, that would have been touched on already. If that was a thing, it would have been briefed on. It would have been mentioned.
But we don't see a lot of ether gear fights. The ones we do is like 1 or 2 a chapter.
Nah, we
or-
do. Every fight they end up using ether gear.
Yeah, the main characters, and then
No, but even Justice and that lot, the side lot were using that. Either way, they were always using ether gear in fights. There's been no indication, right? Not a single mention that they have to replenish in a way. And sleeping and rest is a given, but no indication of having to replenish their ether. In Fairy Tail, there was a constant mention for the.
There wasn't though. There wasn't.
No. In Fairy Tail, for the Dragon Slayers, there was a lot of mention about eating their own element to be stronger.
Yeah, the Dragon Slayers, and even then, it wasn't all the time. It was.
There's no indication of replenishing ether. Whether it be anime or manga, it's still a case that it was a mention in Fairy Tail. They haven't mentioned that a single time in the manga here.
No, but you're using both Fairy Tales, manga, and anime.
But regardless, it was mentioned. My point is, it was mentioned in Fairy Tail. EDENSZERO hasn't mentioned a replenishing factor
in the manga. In the manga, it was mentioned like 2 to 3 times, maybe.
Okay, but still, it was mentioned. EDENSZERO has mentioned it 0 times. If it had mentioned it once, I would be like, okay, yeah. But it hasn't mentioned it a single time. We've had no mention of a replenishing factor or need of ether gear yet.
With Dragon Joe, we did.
Where that wasn't his ether gear being replenished. That was the heart keeping him young. That was his regular age. There's not been a single mention of ether gear needing to be replenished. If anything, we can correlate it to the way Ki works in Dragon Ball, where the more they use it, the more that they lose, and then they've got to rest to get it back. But that's a given. And in any kind of battle shonen, resting replenishes your energy. There's been no mention that they've got to replenish specifically ether gear with a specific mechanic.
I don't. Like I said, I don't know why I'm defending this chapter so much. I didn't. It was eh.
So what do you rate it?
I rated it a 7. Actually, no, I like I did like the attack because it reminded me of Escanor, so I'd give it like
It looked good, yeah.
I thought it did. Okay, this fight was basically the Jack and Joe fight, and I didn't think he should have beat Jack and Joe, but I did think he should beat Shura because I still see Jack and Joe as vastly stronger than Shura because Shura is not an Oración 6 member. Jack and Joe was. So you know what? I'll give it an 8. I'll be nice. I'll give it an 8. I'll give both chapters an 8. Dav, what about you?
I said mine was 7.5, 5.
For 7.5 and 5, okay. Marissa, you said yours?
Yeah, I'm like a 7 or an 8.
All right. Somebody bring the Canadian. I'll bring it. What was the chapter for Fairy Tail?
63? 63, yeah.
Chapters? We are only 60 chapters. No, bitch, it's chapters, 93.
Yeah. 93, sorry.
The fuck? I was like, wait, 63? Are you serious? Fucking king, get off your fucking.
He's making this pizza, in it before someone eats it.
Yeah, you're probably right. All right, I guess we could start the discussion. Fuck 'em. Chapter 93, the 6th of the 5 dragon gods. I will say this. I love the chapter cover. It's probably my favorite.
Yeah.
Grace still has a weird looking face, but I don't care because I don't like Gray. Oh, and yes, people, they moved the title and the caption that it had to the actual first page because you can't mess up such a beautiful cover page. So chapter 93, the sixth of the five dragon gods.
Did you guys move it or did they move it?
No,
Hello.
I moved it. I moved it.
Ah, okay.
I wasn't having that shit.
What are we talking about moving now?
Chapter 93, the cover page, Sorcerer Weekly moved the title and the little caption it had, celebrating the decision. I spelled celebrating wrong, get over it. Celebrating the
Oh,
decision
gotcha.
for an anime adaptation. We moved it to the actual first page of the chapter, not the cover page, because cover page is really pretty. So,
Fair.
and yeah. King, what did you think of the chapter?
It's really an info dump chapter if you think about it. It's kind of what we thought would happen last time, but it just happened in a different order instead of a fight and then they run away on Elfsaria's back. They're just traveling on his back to the fight. And the whole chapter is just a lot of this is a thing that happened, this is a thing that happened in response. And yeah, I don't mind. I will say the explanation for the sixth dragon god is just a lot simpler than we thought. We're talking all that stuff about like, oh, it's like secret magic buried underneath. Like, no, there just used to be 6, and now there's 5 because one of them died. Okay, that's
And
not
the motherfucker's
terrible,
not
I
actually
guess.
dead because he's creating a fucking labyrinth as he's dying.
Yeah, that too. I was about to say, like, the explanation is more simple than what we thought, but the upcoming plot does seem to be more complicated. I will say I don't necessarily know what this plot contributes to the story, but I'm open to giving it a chance. And also, yeah, like random, but like important. How the fuck did Laxus and Gajio get there in the first place?
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering.
I think we're gonna find out next chapter.
I mean, we better, but
they
like that
walked
was
some.
very random. It's just we're try. I understand the appeal of having all the Dragon Slayers come together for some big fucking Dragon Slayer fight, but again, like how did it happen? Like if it was just one of them, like we could say like, oh, Panther Lily carried them, but there's 2 of them.
Well, plus if it was all the Dragon Slayers, what are their names? Sting and Rogue would be there too.
Sorry, I just meant the Fairy Tale Dragon Slayers.
Yeah.
I have a feeling Loxus and Gargio appeared there not of their choice.
I feel like they were sent on a quest.
Because
Got
if you
teleported there?
read, okay, so the first time we see them, if you look around them, right, there's a lot of dust. It's like they've just landed. I'm not. That's not getting into a fighting position wouldn't create like a dust cloud. That shows me that
And
they
I
just
guess
landed.
Laxus does say we got here before we even noticed.
Yeah.
So it does seem like, and he's sweating.
And then he said, a bit later on, he was like, "What's going on here? Your guess is as good as mine. Does this mean we're blown away by something? Who the hell did this? I'm gonna string them up and skewer them." So they don't actually know how they. I think Celine brought them. I think Celine went abracadabra.
Actually, yeah, that does make sense. I'm curious what her plan is.
I think she's done it because actually no, that doesn't make sense. I was gonna say because of the dragon slayers that had the dragons resting inside them, but then Loxus is there, so that doesn't make sense. So never mind.
Well, I mean, he has Dragon Slayer Lacrima. Maybe it's the equivalent.
Well, yeah, because the elf guy was like, I think he smelled dragon slayers.
Yeah, but what
Yeah.
I mean is, so you know how if a dragon slayer keeps using dragon slayer magic, they eventually become a dragon, right? But our boys and Wendy, that didn't happen to him because they had the dragon living inside of him for the antibodies.
Yeah.
Second gen don't have that repercussion of using their dragon slayer magic.
But I think it's this is obviously speculative, but I think it is because they weren't taught Dragon Slayer magic by dragons. Their Dragon Slayer magic isn't natural;
It's
just
artificial,
contains
yeah.
Lacrima. So I feel like maybe that's the protective force that prevents them from transforming like that.
See, that's what my theory originally was, that the Selena summoned the ones that she fears will become dragons from using their dragon slayer magic. But then Loxus is there, so that I'm not necessarily that's not necessarily the concrete idea because he
And it wouldn't.
But
you would also suggest, like, if that's the case, why isn't Cobra there, or even Sting and Rogue?
I would argue that Celine smelled the dragon slayers that were in her continent and brought them all together for a survival of the fittest.
But then wouldn't Sting and Rogue be there?
they're not in the
Cobra?
continent. 'cause
Well,
they're
no,
in
she said
Detroit.
he said they're her continent, but like she's not from Giltina. She's from Elantir, right?
No,
Like,
but she's currently in whatever the fuck the continent's called.
Ellis
yeah,
Furious.
I guess.
No, but why is Gajio and Luxus there though?
Because they
They were there
in
for the fight
Dressio.
with Outeron.
Yeah, they were stuck in Dressio in that guild. We saw them like 2-3 chapters ago.
Okay,
They were-
that's fair.
They were still in the same continent.
Yeah, okay. So
Yeah,
she
they just had
smelled
left, yeah.
Dragon Slayers and she knows about the Dragon Slayers becoming drags, so she's just summoned whatever Dragon Slayers are around.
Because we saw that Alf was like, oh shit, they got Dragon Slayer magic. Who are they?
Yeah.
So she probably
guess
thought the
so.
same thing. These motherfuckers, alright.
Yeah. So she's
see who-
basically brought any, because she wants to get rid of all the dragons, so she's brought any chance of any other dragons appearing later.
She's basically the front man from Squid Games. I'm just kidding.
I do find it because she addressed ladies and gentlemen of Fairy Tale. So she knew that Loxus and Garja were of Fairy Tale.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, they have the mark.
Yeah, that's true, actually.
I think
then
it's
she
gonna
lit-
be a war between them.
And she literally says, "Let the game begin." Are we getting Squid
Yeah.
Games? Are we getting?
To be
Squid
fair,
Games?
you can't see Loxus's mark.
True, but I've always imagined that the marks aren't just like about visuals. You can kind of sense them if you have magic power.
Plus, he was with the Fairy Tale Guild, so
Yeah, that too.
she could
Fair
have
enough.
just assumed,
Yeah.
oh, he's probably from Fairy Tale. And that explains why Levi and the Thunder Legion aren't with Loxus and Gagio.
Yeah, the teleportation probably had something to do with that too.
Yep.
I'm still a little pissed that the Selena arc's not finished, but oh well. It doesn't.
I will say I do prefer this over the Elantir.
Yeah, I do
Voodoo
prefer
magic
this
stuff.
part to what we were getting, because that was just fucking boring the shit out of me. This
Yeah.
might actually be fun.
I would say the Selene arc has 2 parts. We had part 1, which you guys didn't enjoy, and then now we have part 2.
Which hopefully
Yeah.
will be better.
Honestly, I want to see one of the dragon gods defeat one of the other dragon gods just to make this more interesting.
Feeling that Natsu's gonna eat one of the dragon bones. And
Wait,
that's
Which Dragon
Although the-
Slayer or Dragon Gods are left?
Viernes.
Selene, Virenus the gold dragon, and Ignia the fire dragon.
Okay.
I have a feeling that Natsu's gonna eat one of the bones.
Well, I mean, I don't think Natsu has the capability of eating them per se. I feel like that ability or whatever has to be taught, unless it's literally
It's
just
literally
eating,
just
which is
eating.
just weird.
It would make sense if it's just literally eating, because Fairy Tail
Yeah.
doesn't really complicate things. They're
That's
like,
that's true.
how do you gain more magic ability? You inhale different.
Well, I will say it'd be kind of weird for him to eat his own half brother. That's kind of gross.
no,
I mean,
'cause
granted, it's
he-
gross in general, but
he's gonna eat the bones of the dog dragon.
Dogramag?
Yeah, Dogramag. I don't think they were related. If it was Ignia, I would agree, but I feel like
I
he's like,
feel like him eating Dogramag is kind of out there because, like, if he did, he'd take on the power. Then Natsu would become kind of some kind of super genius character. That would be weird.
well, we don't know what the power of the Law Dragon is.
I thought.
I
Well,
thought
no,
that
that
was
is the Law Dragon's power. So, like,
What's his
Dogramag is like
name?
the Earth
Oh.
Dragon. So then he'd either have 2 elements, or he'd eat the heart that was eaten by Dogramag, which is like that would make him super smart, which would just be kind of awkward.
Dude, the
Wait,
whole
wait,
Law
wait.
Dragon thing.
Go on.
So, if by any chance my heart does still exist, then the power of the Law Dragon will extend to Diablos, okay? It is the element
Yeah.
of my Dragon Slayer magic. If Natsu is flame and Wendy is sky, then I am law. It is the power of knowledge to obtain all information in the magic world. So it's like archive magic, basically.
They compared it to like what that
Yeah.
former council guy did, and I
But
think
now-
that was like a more advanced version of Hibiki from Blue Pegasus.
But now, I can't visualize it as an element. Like, I don't.
Yeah, what do you eat
necessarily-
for that?
I think you just have to eat a body part.
To eat a fucking book.
No, like to amplify its ability. They're asking, what do you eat?
Oh, it's like a recharging.
Yeah, so like
Yeah.
not eats fire and so on. What is a law dragon? Does you eat a fucking book? I
Paper, my
understand the
favorite
concept
material.
behind law dragon. I understand that concept.
Maybe it's like pages of books and information, or well, the way Hibiki brings up archives. Maybe you just eat the visual archive.
I
Well,
fucking
but they
hope not,
can't
'cause
eat
that's-
their own thing.
Well, I didn't mean he would eat his own thing, but like somebody could make it for him.
Ah,
Unless he's got a
I
personal
will say,
chef,
like that's another thing I don't fully understand about the Diablos Dragon set is because their elements are getting so out of whack. Like, how does Mad Mole eat armor? Like, couldn't anything be armor? Like, I
Well-
could put a fucking steel bowl on my head and call it a helmet. Does that make
the
it
what
armor?
my little headcanon for him is, because I was talking to someone else about it. For me, like you said, armor can technically be anything. Now, if you
Yeah.
don't know if you guys play D&D, but if you go to D&D, right, you got several types of armor and that, ranging from leather, ranging from literally just fucking clothes, all the way through to chainmail. For
Yeah,
me,
standard
what I
gaming.
imagine him is whatever type of armor he eats, that's kind of the properties he gets. So if he eats a leather armor, he's still going to have the armor that he has, but it's not going to be. It's going to have the
Properties of leather.
yes. So he's always going to want to try and eat metal armor, but however, metal armor might slow him down. So leather armor allows him to be quicker. He's a little bit more vulnerable, but he's
I
quicker.
think that's
'cause he's not-
interesting, but he did also say when he fought Natsu that his armor is based on like scales, and that's why he's like super hard. Like Natsu actually couldn't punch him out.
Yeah, I think that
So-
can still apply. So whatever type of armor he eats, whatever let's call it, whatever
Like, what
material
armor
he
is
eats,
that fucking strong?
adamantium. I don't know.
Idiot.
And also, like, do you have to eat it in the form of armor? Like, do you have to eat like?
I don't think so.
breastplate to
I
get-
honestly think it's a material. I think it's just whatever material it is. So
Okay.
he could eat if he could eat paper, for example, and it would have the paper properties. It'd be really light, but it would shred. He could eat
But then, look,
adamantium.
but like then it's not armor if he's just eating a piece of paper.
No, but what it is he takes whatever it is, and then so you know how Gajo can do the scales with
Yeah.
to give himself like fucking armor.
Yeah, he's unique like that.
Imagine it's that, but whatever he has consumed, that's how strong the armor is. But it also gives him the other properties. For example, I was saying like paper,
Maybe.
it's really lightweight and it's flexible, so he can. He's I don't know. He's fucking fast.
Well, you know, another theory that adds on to that, maybe like he can eat it, but he only has to eat it once, then he can reuse it whenever he wants, so he doesn't have to constantly swap them in and out.
So it's like ingrained into his
Yeah,
he's
like
gene,
DNA.
DNA.
So he's a fucking shield hero. Got it.
Yeah,
I've never seen the anime, so I have no comment on that. But sure.
I wouldn't mind that kind if that's how it worked. I wouldn't if he utilized it. Like you know how Urza utilized all of her her armor in her
Yeah.
verse 100. If he utilized like that, that'd be cool. But I
Yeah.
don't think that's gonna happen. I can't comprehend the whole law dragon thing, but it hasn't been explained. I think we'll get more explanation soon. So
I think we will, and I don't know. I feel like the archive type explanation probably is the most suitable.
thing is, archive to me makes sense because you just put up a fucking Pokedex and now you have all the information. But
Yeah,
law
and,
dragon, like
presumably you can do it as many times as he wants. Like, if he had Hibiki next to him and Hibiki kept creating archives, like he just eats the archive and like
No,
he
but
keeps
now-
his power up. Like that. That's what
does
I
this mean
imagine.
that he knows everything? Not
I
every,
think he
literally
only knows
everything.
what I
but
think he only knows what he consumes. Like I think it's the power. He said it's the power of knowledge to obtain all the information in the magic world. So it doesn't mean he has it, but he has the potential to get it.
Oh, it's so weird.
Yeah,
I
it's a
feel
little
like this is
strange.
trying too hard to be like special. I don't know. I'll wait for the explanation. Maybe it'll actually be good.
Yeah,
Because to me,
See.
I can't think of anything that makes sense.
yeah. This arc does seem like it's shaping up to be more interesting than the actual like Elentier spirit magic stuff. So I'm at least happy about that part. Marissa, do you have anything to add?
Not really.
Okay, well, I think I've said all my points about that. So yeah.
Spidey.
What do you guys think about the dragon heart explanation?
What was it again?
That
Like
his
the
body
fact that
doesn't-
he
he
battled
doesn't need
him
a
and then he
heart. No, the fact that he doesn't need a heart because his dragon body produced a
If a
different
human
organ.
uses Dragon Slayer magic, the body becomes that of the dragon in the end. Once that happens, it transforms not just outward appearance, but the organs.
I think it's BS.
Body became one that needs no heart. Strictly
Versus-
speaking, an organ was created to replace my heart. He basically has a heart. It's just not a heart. He's got a pacemaker, bro. That's what he's got. That's basically what he's got. He lost his heart and he's like, oh shit.
I will also say, like, I don't necessarily mind it because it is a dragon. Maybe their physiology is just different like that. So it doesn't seem to be a point that
I
feel
personally
like
would
I
have
should
preferred
really
if
be
they
shit
just said
about.
we have two hearts. Because I know several dragon stories that have a two heart theory in it. So, but man,
I wouldn't have
well,
been
he's
too
got a
bad either.
pacemaker basically. That's how I'm imagining it.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'm very
I guess a
sorry.
pacemaker that is just substituting because real pacemakers don't do that. But yeah, I get what you're saying.
Yeah, it's just something. He's got a heart, but it's just not a heart. Because like Lucy says, the heart's spot is to circulate blood throughout the body. By all technical sense, anything could basically do that as long as it can do the circulation.
It has to have the same function ability, but like
Yeah.
I said, it's a dragon. It's different physiology. It's fine. I don't mind. Also, something we didn't talk about, which if anyone has a point to bring up, there's like another weapon or something that is out there similar to Ethereon in face, and it's like really ancient or whatever. Elf Series calls it Negative Legacy. So, does anyone have a theory?
I thought about it, but no. I can't
It's-
really.
It's Xerath's magic. No, I'm just kidding.
I doubt that very, very much.
What was the face meant to do again?
Face was meant to eliminate all magical power.
Yep.
That's why Tartarus wanted it, because Tartarus used curses, so they wouldn't have been affected.
So
they
maybe
could,
this
like,
is the
rule
opposite.
world or whatever.
Maybe it
Sorry?
overflows. So maybe, what if like in LNT how they had overflow magic, right? And the
Yeah.
LNT was basically gonna go boom. What if they try and do that here?
Isn't that literally what Elantier's face was? So it would literally be a repeat.
Yep.
True. I don't know then. I honestly, I thought about it. I talked to a couple people, but I don't know what it could be.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, we didn't really get too many hints on it. He's being intentionally vague about it, which I don't
Motherfucker's like,
necessarily
don't worry
mind.
about it. Fuck you mean don't worry, bro?
We'll see about it.
I don't know. I'm just intrigued to see what the fucking game's gonna be.
Maybe it'll be a race to the middle.
About to have Saw fucking 12, fam.
No, because they're dragon slayers, so they're gonna smell the fucking when they go through the maze. They're gonna smell where the bones are, and they're like, "Oh wait, this isn't it."
Not if she encased it in a seal, which
Well,
is very
didn't-
likely.
Well, she couldn't encase it because she had to. She's on top.
Yeah, but
Isn't
she's
the
not-
labyrinth the dragon itself?
yeah,
It's
the
like
labyrinth
dragon's
itself
remains
is
that
a
have
garden.
decomposed and formed maze inside, right?
Yeah, so how would they be able to smell the dragon if it's all around them?
You mean smell the dragon or smell Elfsaria's heart? Because that could be separate. I
Ah.
imagine it would, because it would smell different.
Yep. I don't know. Good chapter overall. I liked it. What would
I
you
like
guys
the
Yeah,
chapter.
yeah.
This
Yeah,
was an
we've been on a
intro
bit of an
dump, but it
upswing
was
lately, which I'm impressed with, so to speak.
yeah. This was an info dump, but it was an info dump of actual story driving.
Like,
So
yeah,
everything we've been
exactly.
told is something like, "Yo, shit, what's this? Oh, what's that? Oh, this is that." It's actually given us stuff to think about and given us a reason to keep reading.
Yeah.
All right.
Anyone want
So-
to drop their ratings? I'm gonna say 7.5.
Death,
I'll give it an 8.
Marissa.
Give it an 8-2. 8-2.
8-2. Damn. 8-2.
Damn, 82 out of 10. That you loved it that
Sorry.
much. Yeah, no. You heard it here, boys.
She hyped it up that much. I will give it an 8. It's pretty solid. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna give it a 9 just because I like the cover.
Cover is
cover-
cool.
That's fair. Cover wouldn't have been as good if he didn't move the text.
I wouldn't have, so I give Sorcerer.
I give good credit there to you and the team. That was a smart move.
Yeah, because
Have you got
they
the
were
raw?
asking, huh?
Have you got the cover like without the move? I just want to compare it.
Yeah, give me a second.
Oh wait, I can just get it in raws, can't I?
Oh, that too.
I got it from the raws. Okay, yeah, that looks really bad. Yeah, no, I wouldn't have liked that at all.
Yeah, shout out to the redrawers.
No, I didn't redraw it. Well, actually, yeah,
Oh.
Zach redrew it. Zachy Zan,
Yeah, shout out to that dude.
Mr. Clutch. He redrew it, and then the typesetter, I think it was Kuro, was like, "Should I add the text?" I was like, "Let me see it without the text." Yep, it looks better without the text. We're doing without the text, and yeah, we did that because I'm a fairy tale fan. Because it's better than EDENSZERO. I'm just kidding.
And that was the fairy tale discussion.
Yeah. I'm excited for the next chapter, and I'm more excited than I've been in previous chapters. I'll say that.
I mean, I was pretty excited for this one too, just because I think the last chapter ended on a pretty good cliffhanger. But yeah,
Yeah, it's been going on an upward trend, which is something I know Dav can't say for his, not
For
his, but
EDENSZERO?
for EDENSZERO.
Oh, I can because now this arc's basically finished. We can move the fuck on.
That's what you said about the Selene arc.
Yeah, I'm hoping that's what's gonna happen right now. I'm just hoping.
Well, okay. I still see the Selene arc as from Edolas was part 1 of the Selene arc. What is Elantir was part 2.
So now you've got part 3. That
Part
does not.
3.
That makes me
I would
feel worse about it.
because I would argue that the Edolas portion of the arc was solid. I would argue
Daedalus was not bad.
It wasn't
would
shit.
argue-
I just didn't care for it.
I would
Like
argue
it was
that
not particularly consequential. It was very just nostalgia driven.
Yeah, but I would also argue that the Elantir portion of it was very hit and miss. Because like some instances you're like, oh shit, that's cool, and then other instances you're like,
A lot of it felt like wasted potential to me.
The only things I really enjoyed about the Ellen tier part was the fact that Lucy and Gray's fights were just purely fights and no jumping around.
Yeah, and there were like I
Everything
think there were
else-
also like interesting concepts that just never really fully got explored. And I think the whole like hands face thing at the end, Overflow Magic, was kind of a disappointment.
Seeing Aquarius again was nice, but I didn't really
Yeah, I guess.
care.
She also became kind of like a plot device just to like explain away stuff like the whole Wendy's magic can reverse everyone's abnormal conditions and blah blah blah. I thought Lucy turning into the monster thing was actually really cool, but then it was fixed way too fast in my opinion.
yeah, because we didn't want to give the shippers a moment, because fuck those guys.
I mean, look, I don't care if it gives the shippers a moment. I just feel like if you're going to introduce something like that cool, like do something with it.
Yeah. All right. That's that.
So, Spidey, are you and I going to talk about Venom 2?
We are gonna talk about Venom 2. Marissa and Dev, I don't think you guys are gonna want to watch it. I don't recommend you watch it. So if you guys want to stay and ask questions, you're more than happy to.
Yeah, feel
I
free.
can wait for it.
You
I'll
don't
I
wait.
need
want
to
wait.
see if
You-
I
you-
need to leave now.
No problem. Dev, you
Okay,
really
cool.
don't want to see it. I'm
No, I
telling
mean
you.
when I say see it, I just wait for it to come up on TV, and I'm like, oh yeah, let me watch it.
3 years from now.
Yeah,
I mean, it'll probably be on like Disney Plus, not Disney Plus, sorry, but like.
Oh no, it will be on Disney Plus because they have a deal with Sony
For Venom?
for the Sony Spider-Man universe.
For the characters, right? But like for airing the movies, I don't know if that extends to that.
Into the Spider-Verse will be on Disney Plus.
Sure, but the first
Spider-Man-
Venom movie is still on Netflix.
Yeah, it's gonna. They're waiting for the license to either expire or one of the legal thingamabobs. That's what they signed as part of the new deal when they kept on when Sony and
Okay, fair enough.
the people at Marvel decided to keep.
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't read it too deep, but like, yeah, fair
Uh,
enough. Let that wait.
all right.
Yeah. So,
So
like to quickly summarize our thoughts on the movie. I remember Spider-Man. You thought it was really fucking bad or something?
I thought it was a worse version of the first movie,
Okay.
and just to recap, I felt like there was really no growth, if that makes sense, in the characters, because it felt like they were just going back to their their movie 1 days. And I just thought that the only reason the movie was made was so they could have that post-credit scene. What did you think?
I think broadly
What did you think of those?
speaking, you're right. I think broadly you are correct. I think a lot of this movie feels like a retread of what happened in the first movie, like Venom and Eddie arguing and shit, and literally, what's her face? It's Anne, Michelle Williams' character. She literally has the same role in this movie in the first movie.
Literally,
it's exactly the same thing.
yep.
Yeah, it's that. Will say I do like Woody Harrelson and Carnage more than I liked and Riot. I think this guy is more interesting, and I think they actually made Carnage look very good. I was like, when he was like showing up on screen for the first time, walking through the prison, screaming crap, like, okay, this is like actually like relatively intimidating by the standards of what I would expect in a movie. And I will say, I think the biggest mistake they made was actually killing him off. I actually would have hoped that they would find some other way. Like, and granted, obviously, I don't think there's like a meta-human type prison they could hold him in, but I feel like they should have figured out something to do, because like I think Carnage is too essential to the Spider-Man myth to
mythos.
Mythos to like just discard in one movie. Like, I didn't mind with the first movie because I don't think anyone ever even heard of the Riot symbiote. But with Carnage, like, that is a big fucking villain, and there's a lot you could do with him, and there is a lot that they've done with him in the comics. But they just used him and got rid of him for one movie, and it's not even like they could bring him back for a sequel, because they also killed off the Cletus Cassidy character. It was like,
well, they can bring him back because of the
through like alternate universes.
Yeah, because now Venom is in the MCU universe.
I agree that they could, but like it would just feel very cheap at this point, and the other one would not have gone through the same character exploratory path that this one had gone through. Because I actually think they did a pretty good job with his backstory.
Okay, I do agree 100% with you. The Cletus Cassidy, the Woody Harrelson portion was incredible. I thought the backstory made sense. It was very interesting to see. He wasn't as crazy as I wanted my Carnage to be, but at the same time, it's like it's a movie. They're not gonna go super insane like they would.
Yeah, it's not like R-rated, and I mean, like Cletus Cassidy, the comics has legit like raped people and like done a lot of other sick shit too, and like I didn't expect them to go quite that far with the movie, and I don't mind.
Well, I didn't expect that, but I just wanted him to murder more people because that's like his character. But
I will say that's one thing I was a little bit disappointed with this movie, is like, this is very pedantic of me, I guess, to complain, but it's like, we didn't even see that many heads get chopped off.
That's true.
Yeah, like even in the final battle where Carnage killed the priest, I don't even think we saw, unless it happened way too fucking fast for me to catch. I think it's like his head got bitten off screen or something. I don't know. That was just a little bit disappointing to me.
This movie is a lot of, and this is my issue with the movie, it's a lot of wasted potential. It
really is.
So this movie was an hour and a half, and I remember breaking it down into 3 phases. The first phase, which is the first part of the movie, is Eddie and Venom working together, sort of, and trying to figure out the Cletus Cassidy mystery, which I liked. I thought it was interesting to see Venom take part and being like, look, this is how we solve it. This is what's going on. And then the second phase, which was, oh look, we're fighting now. Oh, you don't want to be with me? Fine, I don't want to be with you either. Bye, bye. And then the third phase, which was simply just the end scene. I feel like they did do a good job of building Cletus Cassidy, but they did an abysmal job of building up Shriek. I think that was her name, right? Shriek.
Shriek was her name, but I didn't necessarily feel like they did an abysmal job building her up because I felt like most of what happened to Cletus Cassidy just kind of applies to her by default. So I don't mind that she didn't necessarily get too many of her own scenes. Like I thought the stuff she got in Insane Ward with the blonde doctor and stuff and whatever Cletus was obviously like reminiscing. I thought that was good enough for her. I didn't expect that there would be too much on that front.
I just wanted more because she's a mutant. In the comics, she's a mutant. I know
So
they
you
can't
wanted
say
more
the
for
word-
like the broader movie
Yeah.
potential going forward than for necessarily her character.
Yes, and because I know she's more than just does the chick for Carnage, right? They could have been more.
I don't know about that. What has she done in
I
the
just
comics?
feel like they could. I, let's find out. Let me Google this shit real quick because I don't want to give misinformation.
Well, if you have to Google it though.
Well, because I don't want to misspeak and then somebody kill me.
I mean, fair enough, but
she's
like, I feel like if you can't really think of anything off the top of your head that a character has done in the comics, then they probably weren't all that relevant in the comics, at least to the extent that you and I
mean,
are fans of Marvel and DC.
Rhino isn't. I know Rhino, but I don't. He's done jack shit in the comics. He's usually getting his ass beat right away.
Well, you're correct, but I've never felt that Rhino was a top tier Spider-Man villain. His whole thing is just that he's a guy in a Rhino suit whose whole power is just like brute strength thing around the vicinity. Like he's never really had like deep character arcs as far as I can tell. And his only major appearances have been as part of the Sinister Six or whatever.
Harrison became a drug dealer, leading her into situations that were harmful to her own sanity. She eventually ended up in Cloak's dark dimension, which awakened her mutant ability to manipulate the sound. So her backstory is a lot more intricate than just, oh, she and Carnage had a thing as children. It was more they had it as adults because they met in Ravencroft. And that's another thing I hated. Ravencroft, for those who don't know, is basically the Arkham Asylum for Spider-Man. They could have teased other characters in the cages, if you will. They're not actual cages, but you guys. I hope you guys.
Yeah, I got what you meant.
And
to be fair, I think they still could though, because the interesting thing is like, one, this also goes back to my point. Carnage didn't bite off any of the heads of the people he killed, and second of all, like he didn't actually destroy the prison. Sorry, he didn't destroy Ravencroft. He just broke his girlfriend out, and then they left. I think they destroyed like the outside of it, but the inside I think was still relatively like intact. Right? There was still a guy in the prison when Patrick Mulligan, the detective, showed up. So I think it's still possible for them to use that.
So, apparently random piece of trivia. Her attraction for Carnage is similar to that of Harley Quinn and Joker. So, I feel like that's something that
I could see where that's coming from.
I feel like so much of her character could have been fleshed out more, because even if it's like a C-list character, we've seen Marvel do this thing where like, oh look, there's nobody, but then they build them up so good that you're like, oh, we want more. And with her, it's like, no, she was a child, she was treated like shit, she had powers, so Carnage fell in love with her, yada yada yada, boom. There's your story.
I don't mind that they didn't do that though, because I felt if they did go too deep into like the mutant explanation, giving her too much more, then it would take away from Carnage.
Maybe, but for me, it's like they didn't give anything. So like 5-10
I don't
minutes.
know. I didn't feel like they necessarily needed to give her too much. But I will say this, and this is one thing I generally had a problem with the movie as like a format. On the one hand, I kind of like that it was short. Is that we don't need like super bloated like 3 hour long. Like I'm not dissing Endgame. I love Endgame, but like for other movies, like they don't necessarily need to be like 2 hours and 25 minutes to like tell the whole story. Like you could do it in like a little under 2 hours, and this one was like an hour and a half. So I like the straightforwardness of it, but at the same time, I do feel like the pacing, especially in the latter half of the movie, I feel like the pacing was very off. Like especially the stuff surrounding like the whole kidnapping scene. It's like Eddie gets broken out. The doctor and Anne drive to their apartment, and they're already there waiting for them. Like what the fuck? Even though like just a second earlier they were at Eddie's apartment. It's just like, what the hell?
This movie, bro. It just so much.
I feel a bit more like, I don't want to say filler, but like padding could have helped
And
that.
And this is
Because
what I'm
it felt
saying.
very rushed at the end.
They could have developed her backstory, introduced other characters that are part of the Spidey universe. Just tease them like, oh, she got her powers because who was it? Cloak, right? Oh, and then that gives the audience like,
I-
oh, who's Cloak?
Isn't but I don't think they can use Cloak because of the Netflix show, right?
There isn't a Netflix show.
Isn't there a Cloak and Dagger Netflix show? Or am I thinking of something completely different?
I think it was on Hulu, but I don't think that. I don't know who produced that. I don't think it was Marvel because Marvel would have fucking marketed the shit out of that. Could be wrong, but I don't think it was Marvel. It's just, and then
Well, I mean, like I think the thing is if they made the show, then okay, wait, the Cloak and Dagger TV show is set in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and it is in the same continuity as the other Netflix TV shows.
but those
So
aren't canon anymore.
well, at the time of this, they were, and I think they're all gonna
Okay, fair.
treat those old shows as like alternate universes. But I think the idea is still that they couldn't use those characters.
Fair.
Because my
Okay.
understanding is that once a character or once a show ends, the Marvel can't use the character again for at least 2 years of time.
Fair.
That's generally been my understanding.
Okay. But they could have.
But I don't know. Maybe they
didn't
could have
even
given someone else.
They couldn't. They could have even done it, but without mentioning their name. Kind of like they did with, kind of like Disney did with Quicksilver and Wanda. They're mutants, but they didn't call them mutants. So
That's
I
true. But
just
to be fair, they had like a lot more time to work with those characters.
Well, when they first introduced them, it was just them.
When
It
they
was
first
like,
introduced
oh,
them, we just thought they got their powers from the Mind Stone. It wasn't until later that they explained, like, oh no, like Wanda actually had the power innate. It's just the Mind Stone kicked it up.
I don't know. The 30 minutes that we had of them fighting, having their couple fight, they being Venom and Brock, could have been spent doing other shit. It could have been spent fleshing out Carnage more and showing how actually psychotic he is. It could have been spent building up Shriek, because for all intents and purposes, Shriek didn't have to die this movie. She could have escaped, but it was Carnage who killed her. And then
No, he didn't kill her. He was threatening to kill her, but she got killed because Venom threw her off the edge, and then she died, and then all that shit fell on her.
yeah, but see, that's one thing. Carnage would have never done that because Carnage and Cletus are like one and the same, so they wouldn't have had that fight that they had. It's just
That is true. Like, I think that's also one of the things that they have changed from the comic book, because like in the comics, I understand that Cletus Carnage bond is actually stronger than the Eddie Venom bond, and that's why they
Yes.
call themselves I instead of Venom, who uses we.
It's just, yeah. I had a lot of hope for this movie because the teasers showed Ravencroft, it showed the Daily Bugle, it teased like an actual fight. Carnage actually looked great, but it was just more of the same, and it's like it doesn't. It's bad for me because okay, the bickering between Eddie and Venom happened for most of the first movie. you would assume that now that a few months had passed, because it says that it takes place a few months after, because Eddie has like his own show or whatever, and they've been superheroing, vigilanting around. You would think that would be solved, right? Then we have these same, his ex girlfriend who's with her new husband, soon to be husband, and then we have them helping each other and then bickering and then Eddie getting in. It's like just a lot of retread, and it's like we didn't need any of this. We could have just built it up. We could have built Venom up even more, but instead we're like going backwards instead of deciding to go forward, which I didn't understand why. That was my issue with it.
Mhm.
So now that you saw the post-credit scene properly, what did you
Mhm.
think of it?
I feel like my last opinion still holds true. It just felt like a very, I don't want to say cheap, but like relatively unenthusiastic attempt to connect the two.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. And I forgot who I was telling, but I basically said people will love Venom because of the post-credit scene or because of the Carnage fight, but nothing that they will not remember anything else from the movie. And I feel like in a lot of cases when I've talked to people about the movie, they say the same thing. Like, oh yeah, the Venom fight, the Carnage fight was good. The end credit scene was good. It's like
The fight
that's
was
all
good at the end.
it was. It was, but it still felt a lot like the last movie with the fight, where like the girlfriend, the ex girlfriend is involved,
Yeah.
and then
Like I
all
think we
this,
both agree that a lot of this feels like a retreading of the original.
which isn't bad
Of
because
the
the original
first one.
was good. Or for me, the
But yeah, like
original,
you could do better.
and you already know that Venom is gonna get his Spider-Man spiders logo thing because of fucking Tom Holland Spider-Man. He's gonna see it and he's gonna be like, "Oh, I want that," and it's gonna have his actual color look.
Mhm.
It's just for me, it's a lot of missed potential, but it is what it is.
Mhm.
Anyway, what would you give the movie?
I don't know. Like I'm not disappointed necessarily that I saw it. I don't mind that I paid to go to the theater. It was a good way to kill like, the hour and a half that I saw. And I mean, it gives me a little something to talk about, think about, and it's probably better that I see this so I can watch subsequent things. So I'll give it a flat 6. Like it's not a terrible movie, but it could be better. So yeah, 6 out of 10.
Okay, and now I didn't ask this last time, but does I don't think I could have. Does this movie make you more or less excited for Morbius?
It doesn't really change my opinion.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
I wouldn't say I'm not like terribly excited about Morbius. That's a movie where it's like if I have nothing to do that day, I'll go see it. But I don't necessarily. I've never been interested in the Morbius character, to be honest. So it's a very whatever thing to me.
Okay, I'm curious to see if they stick with making the Morbius movie like a horror movie because that's what they've been saying. They're like it's gonna
Yeah,
be very
yeah.
dark and horror. There's gonna be horror elements. I was like, well, I hope you fucking commit because into this and Venom 2 was for me not as good as it could have been. Um. So yeah, that's our Dev. Marissa, you have anything to add?
Nope.
Nope.
All right. Now we could move on to DC Fandome for a bit. Since there was a couple of trailers. I'm thinking we all saw the Batman trailer, correct? Marissa, did you
Uh-huh.
see it?
No, I didn't watch DC Fandom or Fandom.
Okay. Dav, you saw it, right?
Yeah. I was hyped at first, then I rewatched it a couple times, and I'm still excited for it because it's
Because it's your boy.
because it's Batman. But I will say that I'm only really excited for it because it's Batman. I can't say that the trailer gave me enough excitement for the story that's going to be portrayed, if you know what I mean. Could be wrong about when it comes up, but right now, I'm just excited because it's Batman.
Okay. So King, do you want to talk about the trailer?
I don't necessarily have a whole lot to say about it. I'm just generally curious about it.
So when you saw the trailer, what were your initial thoughts? Like, were you excited?
I mean, the fucking Batmobile actually looks pretty sweet. Would you guys agree with that?
I do.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like the more sleekness of it compared to like, and not that I don't like the Ben Affleck one or even the Christian Bale one, but this one looks very, I don't want to say futuristic, but I don't know, just maybe it's just the mobility of it. I just really enjoyed that scene. I think Zoe Kravitz looks pretty good as Catwoman. Yeah, no, generally I think it's going to be pretty good. I mean, I still like, to me the best thing that they've released so far is still the earlier trailer from like a year and a half ago of Robert Pattinson kicking the shit out of that guy in front of everybody. It's like I still can't fucking get over that. That was a really fucking good scene.
He thought he was an American police officer.
He more honestly, he kind of is, but like,
No, you're not wrong. I
like yeah,
will
no,
say,
I thought like yeah, no, the trailer's good. I think it's gonna be a good movie. I'm excited. I like the idea.
I will say that they kind of try to remake that scene when in the ending of the fucking trailer where he's getting shot at and he's just beating the shit out of people, and you just see like portions of it, not the entire thing. But other than that, yeah, I'm with King. I was excited at first. I was excited for it, but it doesn't like. No, well, one, I don't want to say excited. Like it intrigues me, but it doesn't excite me. I was like, okay, I need Batman because I still like Ben Affleck's Batman, and I feel
Me
like
too.
this Batman that we're getting now, he's even more demented than the Ben Affleck one, and people were bitching that the Ben Affleck one was like too dark. So it's like,
I thought the Ben
so
Affleck one was fine and very appropriate.
he reminded me of the Arkham Asylum game type
I think
Ben
that's where
Affleck.
they got a lot of those like fight scene inspirations from.
It was beautiful, but everybody was up in arms because, God forbid.
A very nice, brutal type of fighting style, which I
Yep.
really enjoyed watching.
So I'm excited. Um, there was also a Black Adam teaser. Did you guys see that?
Yeah,
Yes, and I thought
that looks
that
more
was
interesting.
All right, Devs, you start since you were so depressed the
Go for it.
last conversation.
Well, I mean, there's not much really. It's just that it was a teaser, like mentioned, but it looked like there's a whole lot more that's going to go to it, and it's going to be, I guess I want to say action heavy, which I'm hoping for. The fact that he turned the guy, he picked up man, and
I think it will.
yeah, he picked the guy up by the throat and was like, haha, now you're dust. That was pretty cool. Like, excited for that.
It was like 2 days after the Rock started rapping too, so everybody
Forgot
lost their
about him
shit
rapping.
twice. Everybody lost their shit twice to him.
Yeah.
What did you think about the trailer or the teaser, King?
Dude, I thought it was fucking awesome. Like that, yeah, like that scene of like the paramilitary guys going in and the one dude getting electrocuted to death. That was fucking great. I'm very excited for the Black Adam movie. I really want to see like Pierce Brosnan as Dr. Fate and all these other dudes. What's his name? Hodges, Aldrich Hodges, the guy playing Hawkman. I think he'll be really good in that
Oh yeah,
role.
yeah.
I don't know there's this guy who's playing Adam Smasher, I think is his name. He's some kid who he's been in all these fucking Netflix movies. I don't know, but like I'm curious about all these people who are playing the actors. Let's say who are playing the characters. But and how Black Adam is. Because you think Black Adam is like legit powerful enough to take on all of them. Like he's legit a match for Doctor Fate 1-on-1. And so the rest of them together is going to be interesting to watch.
So the kid's name is Noah Centinels.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I've seen that guy in some Netflix movies. He's generally like, I don't think he's a bad actor or nothing, but like, I'm just curious what he's doing here because like it seems like a very he doesn't seem like the choice I would choose for Adam Smasher.
He's in a lot of chick flicks for Netflix. Is there something you want
Yeah.
to tell us? I'm just kidding.
No, I've watched rom coms. There's not. I don't. Why would I be ashamed of that? There's some good ones on Netflix. There are some very interesting concepts.
No, yeah, I'm not. I'm not saying it's bad. I actually watch them with. I mean, I watch them with my wife, but I watch them.
Yeah. Okay.
Nah, yeah, but there, yeah, he's a. You're right though. It is a very. It's kind of like the Guardians of the Galaxy getting that one kid to be Adam Warlock.
Oh yeah, yeah. There's that dude. I don't. What the fuck's that guy's name?
Nah, I don't know. He reminds me of the kid from Toy Story.
Oh.
Yeah, it's a weird choice, but I trust. I
Will
tru-
Poulter.
Oh,
Do not
Will
know this
Poulter.
actor, but
He
okay.
was in We Are the Millers. He's in the Maze Runner series.
I haven't seen any of those.
He's not a bad actor. It's just a different pick than I was expecting, but who knows?
I don't mind. I think like based on some images I've seen, he can actually like do a pretty good job like in terms of like resembling the character.
Yep. I'm excited for that. But yeah, that's about it for that conversation. I don't
Yeah.
know. We could talk about the Uncharted trailer if you guys saw it if you want.
Nah, I don't watch it. I don't really
Nah.
have much of a care for Uncharted.
I don't care for the cheaper version of Tomb Raider or Indiana Jones either.
I'm not against it. I just don't necessarily care for it. I'm like, shout out to like, Tom Holland, Nathan Fillion, and whoever is in it. I'm sure there are going to be people.
Nathan
What?
Fillion isn't in it.
He's not?
No.
What are all those images I was seeing of him like in the
He was
outfit?
in a short that he himself made as Nathan Drake, which was fucking
Oh.
fantastic, which was one of the greatest things I've ever seen in my life.
Dude, like okay,
Yeah.
I legit thought he was in it because of that.
No. They're
Okay, well,
comparing
yeah,
him
fair enough.
to they're comparing his Nathan Fillion to what we're getting. I mean, shout out Sony because they're showing how much they love Tom Holland. Tom Holland should remember that Sony's the one who wanted him as Spider-Man, not Marvel. Marvel didn't care for him. They wanted as a Butterfield or whatever the fuck. So he should be very happy with Sony. But yeah, I'm not. I don't have any hope for this movie. I'll just play the games. So, yeah.
I haven't played the games, but like, yeah, no, it looks. I mean, it looks cool. So, I mean, shout out to the fans of the series who are interested in that.
I like how you worded that because a lot of them are mad.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I think I've seen a grand total of about 10 to 12 people talk about it who are fans, and only one of them was actually genuinely excited. All the others were like, "Okay, it's cool, we're getting this."
It was trending
But I
on
don't
Twitter, so I
want it.
feel like people have to be into it.
Yeah, but
I
at
mean,
the same
when
time,
you
it can
trend on
trend for hate.
Twitter-
I mean,
Yes.
they were. I looked. I don't think they were hating on it.
I
No,
mean, if
look-
Nathan Fillion was trending because of Uncharted, that tells you that
I don't know if it was the Nathan Fillion version that was trending, and people were just like, because I was looking at the last tweets without screenshots. It's like, looks good, and there were like screenshots of the both of them. So I imagine it could have been one or the other, but it could have been both. Or
I've seen
whatever.
more people just say that they hate it and don't want anything to do with it. And I've seen one person go, "Oh, this is exciting," and I'm like, "Oh, well, at least they're excited."
I've seen people comparing the two, and like I said, I'm all for disliking a movie for actual reasons, but I've seen some people dislike it because they're like, "Oh, this character doesn't look like he does in the movie or the comic game, whatever." But it's like I'm all for like I'm not a fan of Tom Holland. I think that's abundantly clear. I don't like his portrayal of Iron Boy. I think he's a mediocre actor. I mean, again, more power to him because he's getting all these film roles, and
Kid's doing well for himself.
He's doing very well, so I'm very happy for him. I will, if he ever asked me, I would tell him why I'm not a fan of his Spider-Man. I would have a conversation with him. But
Mhm.
people were complaining that it's not like the Nathan Fillion one. And it's like, yeah, no shit, it's not like the Nathan Fillion one. It's not gonna be like the Nathan Fillion one, because if it was, people would be bitching that why didn't you just get Nathan Fillion? That's like, complain about it once you see the film. But if you haven't seen the film, why are you complaining about it? You don't know
Yeah.
how it's gonna be. So if it's
Okay.
bad, it's
One other
bad.
thing. Sorry. Yeah, we can move off this topic. Just one quick thing I wanted to ask about the MCU. I think we know that they pushed back a bunch of the dates, and I'm just looking at some key release dates. Spider-Man: No Way Home is December 17th, 2021, and then the next one is Doctor Strange in May of 2022. So we're talking like almost 5 full months of no Marvel, which I
Correct.
realize does.
False. Morbius. Morbius.
Sorry, I'm talking about MCU.
It is MCU.
Morbius is MCU?
It is gonna be MCU.
Well, I mean, okay, here's the thing. We're still up in the air about that because of the whole Vulture
we're
cameo.
it's gonna be MCU. Calling it right now, it's gonna be MCU.
Okay, fair enough. Like, if it is, great, but like, still, big characters.
You mean proper MCU. I got
Yeah,
you.
basically. Like, it just seems like a big gap. Did they give any reason as to why they pushed all those backs?
COVID. They said production delays, which was because of COVID.
Oh, fair enough.
The only movie that wasn't delayed because of production was Guardians of the Galaxy 3.
No, I think that one was delayed pretty hard, but
No, that was-
because they
that was
pushed it so
started
far
filming.
ahead, they don't have to.
Maybe, but I was reading that it wasn't delayed. It was one of the only ones that wasn't delayed.
Fair enough.
Are we?
Yeah, no, I don't know. I'm just saying 2022 seems like I feel like they could have spread those movies out a little bit better.
This is DC's chance to shine.
Yeah.
They
But take
already
advantage of those big gaps.
shit the bed with their version of Justice League that they should have never released. They should have released the Snyder cut, because for better or for worse, Snyder had already built the universe. Joss Whedon simply destroyed the universe and was like, "Oh, look, it's small."
I think DC has a chance though with this Shazam film.
Their Shazam film, the first one.
Sorry, I meant the Black Adam one and the Shazam
yeah.
sequel, but I do like the first Shazam movie. I think it is good.
Black Adam might not even be part of their DCU because it's made by New Line Cinema.
No, I think it's gonna be. It may be like a different studio making it, but The Rock has clearly referenced the whole thing, so I think it's possible. And plus, in the first Shazam movie, they referenced Black Adam.
Did they reference him?
It did. When the kid goes to visit the wizard old man, he talks about the story of Black Adam, and then he gives Billy Batson the power.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Look, it gives me a good reason to rewatch Shazam because it's a great Christmas movie.
It is a good Christmas movie, but like, no, I'm serious. Like, he does tell him the story of Black Adam, and then he talks about the 7 deadly sins or whatever, and then he gives him the power.
Oh shit! Well, I hope it is part of the universe because
I think it is.
DC just needs to get its shit together. Like,
DC
honestly,
does need to get its shit together, because like when DC tries, they do make good stuff, but the problem is like they just don't do anything.
Here's the thing: when they don't meddle, they do really well.
When they don't meddle and they actually try, it goes right, but they don't do anything. Like, when was the last time we had a
their solo films? Shazam, they didn't meddle with Shazam, and they even mentioned
before Shazam, what would we have?
Wonder Woman,
which was.
I mean,
I thought Wonder Woman was
a matter of opinion.
It's not like.
I wouldn't say it's bad.
It's
definitely
objectively
did not
better than
enjoy
everything else they'd made up to that point.
I would argue that the only DC films worth watching are Man of Steel, because it gives you a fresh perspective on Superman. Again, there's some give and take here with the original fans or people who may just not like it because they don't like it. Fine.
I'll agree. It gives you a refresher take on Superman. I'll give you that. That is very true. But the film as a whole,
I feel like the film as a whole is just kind of a slog to get through. Like, it's just not a very entertaining movie.
I disagree so
No,
hard.
no,
I
no.
love
To be
that
fair, though, if I remember correctly, you didn't like. But when you watched the Justice League Snyder cut and you rewatched Superman,
No, I loved the Man of Steel and I loved Batman v Superman. I've loved those movies. I never said
I'm
anything
surprised.
bad about them.
I
I never
think Batman v Superman is more entertaining, so I can say, watch that for the sake of entertainment, but I don't think it's objectively a good movie.
I
I
couldn't find that entertaining.
I watched the 3-hour cut, so that's probably why I liked it more because
Fair
it
enough.
does. Shut the fuck up, Power. Power, you're such a go. Shut the fuck up.
Fine,
Motherfucker
stop.
started late and he's trying to leave early. Fucking hell.
But I will say this because the extra 30 minutes you get in the uncut version gives you a lot. It won't do much for people who don't like it, but it does flesh out the characters a little more. So I like that. I hated the Suicide Squad from David Ayer, but I was
Yeah.
reading that David Ayer's Suicide Squad was supposed to essentially be a prelude to Zack Snyder's Justice League, but DC
And I heard
meddled.
there was a lot of executive meddling on that one too.
Yeah, and DC meddled, so they had to change everything. And he was very disappointed because the villains weren't gonna the Suicide Squad was essentially gonna fight the parademons and like stop some sort of aspect of the invasion. But
Yeah.
DC was basically like, no, and I was like, what the fuck? Wonder Woman I thought was great. I hated the Harley Quinn movie. I hated it with a passion.
Oh, Birds of Prey? I never actually saw that one.
That was the worst movie I've ever seen in my life.
Fair enough.
I-
Then there was
yeah.
Aquaman, right?
Aquaman I didn't like, but I could see the appeal for many people.
I think Aquaman has some strong points. I think they did the whole concept of the Atlantean society pretty well. And I think Jason Momoa as the main character is pretty good. But I think a lot of the other stuff that they did was just not great. I mean, the villain is okay, but I felt like what's his face? Black Manta was a little bit underdeveloped, and I thought what's her face? Amber Heard's character, like she just does not have any chemistry with Jason Momoa. I don't believe that these two like each other.
She was just a walking pair of tits, bro. That's all she was.
True, but like there are a lot of other actresses you could have gotten who have great tits and are actually very talented actresses too, and potentially have really good chemistry with Jason Momoa. But that's why studios screen test their actors and actresses to assess like people really believe that these two love each other.
True. I'm just the newest Suicide Squad. It wasn't my cup of tea, but I saw it. Some people liked it. So when
Haven't seen
DC
it.
and they let what's his name, James Gunn, do whatever the fuck he wanted, because that was
Yeah,
when
that's the thing about James Gunn. Like you gotta let that guy do what he wants.
because he got fired from Marvel because of like 10-year-old tweets that people try to
Yeah,
cancel.
that whole thing was fucking stupid.
Which it was stupid. Like I would understand if it was recent and something that he did currently, but it's like 10-year-old tweets, which kind of shows he's grown as a person. But whatever.
Yeah.
So
To be fair to Marvel, they did at least hire him back.
yeah, but I think that was more Kevin Feige telling Disney, "Don't fucking touch my shit. Let me do what I'm doing."
Yeah, well, I mean that's the thing. It's like his talent spoke for itself. Like his talent is just so undeniable. They're like, okay, we're actually worse off without him. Like all the people who complained about tweets that I don't know.
That was just dumb.
It's just
but-
stupid.
DC has gotten better. I'm excited. I just hope they continue on that upward trend. I don't understand why they haven't given Henry Cavill a new Superman movie. I don't understand why they. Did you know that
I've read about what they're planning to do next. Like that whole idea is so stupid.
That is very stupid. They announced a black Superman movie.
Yeah.
Basically, a black Clark Kent Superman.
No, Calvin Kent is
No.
apparently his name.
No. There's two movies in production. One with Michael B. Jordan, that's of Calvin Kent, which is the other from the other world. Another world, another.
What's the other one then?
And another one is actually like Clark Kent. It's a reboot of Superman with a black Superman instead of a white one.
That's even dumber.
And they
God.
announced it on Henry Cavill's birthday.
Oh, fuck those guys.
That's why, like, they do good, and then they take like 4
And
steps
they just shit the
forward.
bed.
They take like 2 steps forward and then like 7 steps back. It's like, dude, what are you fucking doing? You have Henry Cavill, bro.
Yeah.
Whatever.
And
All right.
audiences clearly want him back. Like, he's not the problem with the Superman movies. Whether you like them or not, and you think there are problems, he's not the problem.
Yeah, in the Batman vs Superman, they liked his Clark Kent because his Clark Kent got development. His Superman could have used a bit more like nerfing, I feel, but it's fine. And then in Zack Snyder's whatever.
I think his Superman needed more fucking character. I saw a calculation somewhere on the internet. Basically, they calculated that Spider-Man in Civil War had more dialogue than Superman did in Batman v Superman. That's just messed up.
Yeah. They just look. If I was DC, I would hire Zack Snyder back. All right, Snyder, what's your plan? All right, this is your plan. Cool. Oh, you want Bruce and Clark?
Honestly, like, let him do some stuff. Make sure he doesn't go over budget, and you're good.
Exactly. Like the only thing I would have been against him, which is what they were against, and in his Snyder cut, he didn't add was Batman and Lois being a thing, which is great.
Okay, that would be very
that would have
bad.
been bad. That would have been very bad. But in the Zack Snyder cut, he didn't do that. He instead put Lois having Clark's baby. So you just let the man do what he wants. Oh, you want this? That's
Yeah.
cool. Let's build up to it. All right, because he was gonna introduce the Atom, which would have been the first Asian character in a fucking movie before Shang-Chi in 2017. Cyborg would have had his own movie in 2018. Now, regardless of what we think about these movies or these characters, they would have drawn in a fuck ton of money because of the representation they'd be giving people. But
Sure, yeah.
fucking DC was like, you know what? No. Josh Whedon, you fucking give us whatever the fuck you want, and it's fine. It's so stupid. I just let the man do whatever the fuck he wants. Give him a 5-picture deal, because he had a 5-picture storyline which started with Man of Steel. He didn't want Batman versus Superman. He wanted a Batman movie. So he wanted a Superman movie, a Batman movie, then a Batman versus Superman movie.
I think that would have made more sense.
Then a Justice League movie, and then the second part of the Justice League movie, which would have been the perfect 5 pictures.
Yeah, and then that's where they were going to introduce like Martian Manhunter, Green Lantern, and all these other characters who really needed to be in the DC universe.
But these fucking idiots were like, no. And then if they would have done it his way, it would have been better because it wouldn't have seemed like they're trying to copy what Marvel's doing.
Yeah, I will say, like, there are things Zack Snyder, like, I don't like Man of Steel, and I think Batman v Superman has a lot of problems, but it's still better than the Joss Whedon shit show.
I saw it because apparently I like torturing myself, and holy shit, it's so bad. The random Russian family we get introduced because God knows why. It was just, we should stop now before we record another few hours. Any final thoughts, Steph?
No, I'm on the same page where I'm excited about the stuff that's going on, and I have a feeling, I think it's gonna go well, and I have a hope that there will definitely be this kind of, it won't match MCU, but the DC universe will start to form slowly, and more will come out of it, because we haven't, DC for a while now has not had anything noteworthy.
They're about to reboot it.
That's what I mean. So, like, I'm hoping this time round it's going to be more noteworthy, because for a while there hasn't been anything that's like been a staple to create conversation for long periods of time. Like, for example, with
or even
Endgame,
just something to center the universe around.
Yeah, because, like, for example, right now Endgame is still a huge conversation for a lot of people, even though it was a while back. A lot of MCU's movies are still a huge conversation going around. DC hasn't
2.5
had
years.
that. We haven't had that in a while. So I'm hoping the reboot stuff will end up.
Well, no, because they're literally rebooting the universe with the Flash movie.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So I'm hoping
And so-
I don't think they're
from
rebooting the
here.
whole thing though. They're just doing certain parts of it.
But that's what I mean. So from here on now, after the
Yeah,
full reboot,
but-
I'm hoping that we're actually going to get noteworthy things to talk about, and not just,
I hope so.
oh, this was a nice movie. Yeah, I like that. And then it's not talked about anymore.
I just look, if you're rebooting the universe, give Zack Snyder that 5-picture deal with the two of these movies already being made. Retcon the fucking Justice. Did you know that they considered the Joss Whedon Justice League movie canon to their
I
universe?
assume so.
Like, are you fucking stupid? No, bro. Zack Snyder has his Justice League movie out. That's canon. Watch it. It's there. It's like so dumb. Anyway, King, your famous outro.
Okay, for those who were just wondering, Marissa left like 20 minutes ago, so that's why you haven't heard her say anything. Although, to be fair, I don't know if she would have had anything to add on. But again, thank you all for listening. We appreciate it. Thank you for sending in your questions to the Halloween podcast. We hope that you will send more questions as well. And also, we appreciate the people who are sending questions. But I have to say, and I said this to Spider-Man earlier, and Dav agreed with me, a lot of your questions are just not very sexy. And I don't mean like you got to ask questions about sex, although we don't really care if you do. But it's just like, who the fuck cares about leftover Halloween candy? Guys, ask us something more interesting, okay? You can be funny about it. We really don't mind. Obviously, keep in mind that Marissa's a lot younger than us, so don't do anything really fucking inappropriate. But the rest of us are old enough to like take it and dish it out. So yeah, don't try not to hold back, okay? But for those of you who did ask interesting questions, shout out to you guys. And yeah, thank you, Dav and Spider-Man, and the Marissa, who has already left the podcast. She'll be back, of course, next week. And yeah, have a fantastic week ahead, and we will catch you guys then. Bye bye.
See you later, guys.
Bye, guys.